action.
Alright guys, out here on the tripod, I've been getting a couple of video requests on setting the trap. I'm going to do a dirt hole set, start to finish. We got this road coming off right here, and it goes by that barn, and we got this top field up here, and it has a right-of-way cut through it. And right here is sort of a little intersection from that right-of-way in this road, so I'm going to punch a set in right here. I got a clump of grass right here is my backing. It's natural. I'm not going to try to make nothing. I got my dirt hole punch. I'm going to drive it in there pretty good ways and waller out the hole. I like a bigger dirt hole, in my opinion. These are Duke 550s OS Pro Series. I mean, good trap for me. I think they're called Fox Hollow Earth Anchors with the chain. I don't like the cables. It's personal preference. But I'm going to put this trap as far away as I want it from the dirt hole. Just about how it is, about right there, and offset it just maybe an inch or two. And I'm going to take my hammer or my trowel, and I'm going to mark where that trap was sitting. And this helps for people to bed. I ain't the best bedder, I can tell you that. Sometimes I got to do power bedding. But I put 2 traps in the ground today and I haven't had to put nails on them. And when you dig your trap bed, you want to dig it sort of like a cereal bowl. Bigger at the top, smaller as you go down. Just like your bowls you got at your house. This honestly isn't the best dirt. I might have to find some dirt to sift, but and I'm gonna place my trap. It looks pretty good in the circle. Now I'm gonna dig out my ears. I'm gonna set down in there real quick, which I know it's gonna need fixed on the ears. Okay, I might dig out that front just a little bit more. And you don't want your trap bed bigger than your trap, because then you got, well, obviously too big of a trap bed, but it's just not going to play in there right. Trap's almost rock solid. I can already tell I'm like these nails right here, which is fine. I don't like to, but sometimes I got to. Maybe not, I might just fix it. Now I'm gonna take my dirt hole punch, and I like to put my chain under the trap bed. Drive it down just a little bit, haul it out. That's where all my chain's gonna fall. And I'll put my trap down in there. Sometimes it can be hard working with clay, but and then very rare do I do this. Here it is. But sometimes I'll make water holes in my trap bed. We've been getting really bad weather here recently, so I'm just going to put 2 small holes right in the bottom of my trap bed. Alright, I'm going to drive my trap in. You got to have your tags or your traps tagged. I use the cheap old zincs. Eventually I'm going to upgrade the copper, but I was sort of on a budget when I bought all my stuff. I'm going to start driving mine deep because I had something pull one of my traps today out of the ground and it's gone. Sound like I hit a pipe. As far as I'm going to take that one. And I'm going to set it. I don't think nothing should pull it out. And I'm going to lay it in there like how I talked about earlier. And then place my trap down in the bed. I have to dig out that front just a tiny bit more. Alright, I'm going to use nails on this one. These are 20 penny nails. I think they're either 16 or 20. I can't remember. What's that look like to you? Alright. But I'm just going to, you can see where I got, on your ears you got a square, and where your jaws connect. I sort of just push them in at an angle. Like that. This is what they call power bedding. I really don't like doing it, but sometimes I do because I'm not the best at bedding. But that trap's rock solid. And that trap's not moving. Dukes come night latched. I use wax paper as pen covers. It's whatever you want to use. Personal preference. I just started using wax paper this year and I like it. I don't seem to have problems with it so far. I'll place it on my pan just like that. Then I use salt. I use regular table salt. I mean, cheapest salt I can find. I got this at Dollar General for 55 cents, I think. And I salt heavy. Now, I've heard people of having problems with deer digging them up. I haven't had no deer mess mine up yet. I mean, the way I see it, the deer's going to get it, they're going to get it anyway. Anyways. Now I use peat moss. It's not dry by any means, I can tell you that. But it's better than using the dirt from the ground, in my opinion, because peat repels water very, very well. But you want your peat moss dry, buy it early in March, April, somewhere in that time frame, and store it in a very dry place in 5-gallon buckets or anything you can get it in that'll keep it dry with a lid. But you want to let it sit up there until there's dust to it. Obviously mine ain't dry. I didn't get it early enough, which is my fault, but I make it work. That's enough peat on that. I usually just use a handful. Then I salt again on top of my peat. Not super heavy, but I salt it. Then this is where I put my dirt on from the set, which I don't know how well this is going to sift. It'll sift. Sometimes I gotta take it and rake it, almost like a cheese grater. And bust it up sometimes. Now I'm just going to evenly spread it out. Find my pan, which is right there. Just lightly cover it up. Now I can still see a little bit of peat, but I don't think that'll bother them too much. And then I'm going to take grass and sort of fluff it up around where my trap was. A lot of people like eye appeal. Me, I sort of make it look like something's living there, but you can make it look like something went through and dug. Then I use guiding. Right here is my pan. I remember where it's at. I just take a tiny clump of grass that big. I mean, sometimes even smaller, but this one just happened to turn up. My dirt hole's here. My pan's here. I don't want them to step there. I want them to step on my pan. So I'm just going to take a tiny clump of grass like that and plant it right there. And that'll sort of make them to step here. I'll continue to fluff this up around this. They'll smell it. And dirt clumps that came on my sifter. Rocks work, but rocks will close your jaw. It'll shut your jaws to where they won't close all the way. They'll stop them. So I just take dirt clumps, push down in it, because dirt will mash. You can see I put one there. I'm going to put one over here. And that's all I do for guiding. Tiny stuff like that. A lot of people like to use big logs and stuff. Me personally, I like to use natural stuff. That's basically all I do. Now I'm going to put my bait and lure and stuff. Sometimes I'll punch a hole right there for my lure. I'm going to fluff this back up where my feet was, or my knees. Never bait with the same gloves that you bed your traps and stuff with. It's just not a good combination because you'll get your traps contaminated. I don't wear gloves when I bait because it don't really bother me all that bad. I'm going to take a stick. A lot of people carry butter knives, or they buy cotton swabs that's 6 inches long. I'd rather use a stick because it's cheaper. But, I mean, you could use a better knife. Sometimes I put a lot, and sometimes I don't. It depends on how strong the bait is. But on the instructions, they recommend a tablespoon, but I don't put a tablespoon. That's a lot of bait. So the predator's nose is 10 times stronger than a human's. That was RK's Predator Plus that I just put in that hole. Ain't caught nothing off it yet, but trapping season was also just started. Actually, I might have. I can't remember when I caught that fox up. Then I'm going to use, it's red gland. I'm going to use some Hellfire on this one. Hellfire stinks. It'll almost make you gag. It's skunk essence, so at least what it smells like to me. It's a long call for the cold weather. It really reaches out. But I mean, it's disgusting. And I take it, put it on a stick, rub it on the outside of my hole and on top. Now, since I punched that tiny hole, I'm going to put some food lure right there. And all it is mouse meat. It don't stink. I mean, it has a smell to it, obviously, but I'm going to put some mouse meat down in that hole. No, actually, I'm going to change it. I'll put Canine Curiosity. That stuff smells like garlic. But I'll just take a blade of grass for this stuff because I don't like putting that crap ton in it. I'll take it and rub it around in that hole. Break it off. Throw it up in there. That's my finished set. I don't know, it takes me 10-15 minutes. But I'd rather have a solid set and a good set than a trash set. Not solid and you come back and your trap's dug up. And there ain't no dog here waiting on you. So guys, that's the video. Thank you for watching. If you got any more suggestions or things you'd like to see, put them down in the comments below. I'll see y'all guys on down the line.